Tick tock, tick tock, tick tock. This is how the time flies away. We always find time running away. You may have observed individuals complaining about the lack of time in their life. But the truth is, we all have 24 hours every day. Time is the same for every human being. Hey, I'm not going to give you a lecture on time management, but I will discuss about clocks, the very medium that gives us an indication of time. Clocks and calendars are an integral part of our life. We cannot do without them. So we will devote this lecture to them. Here we shall understand some of the very important facts related to them. So without any delay, let's get started. Before we go into solving problems based on clocks, it's important for us to understand some of the very important facts about the clocks. I'm pretty sure that you must be knowing all this, but there's no harm in revising them. So, first let's understand the basics of a clock. Now, as you can clearly see, there are 12 big divisions 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 and 12 on this clock, and each of these divisions denote the hour. So this division denotes 1 o'clock, this denotes 2 o'clock, this denotes 3 o'clock and so on up to 12 o'clock. Now this big hand is known as the minute hand and this small hand is the hour hand. The minutes hand denotes the minutes and the hour hand of course denotes the hour. Now right now it's 12 o'clock in the clock. The hands start moving this way. Now clearly when the minute hand has completed 360 degrees and it has returned to the 12th division, then the hour hand has moved to the first division, that is 1. So at this moment the time is 1 o'clock. It might be in the night, it might be in the morning. Now again the clock doesn't stop at any moment, it continuously keeps on moving. The hands keep on moving. So after 1 it would be 2 o'clock. Again the minute hand has completed one round and it has gone back to its position, that is 12, and you can clearly see that the hour hand has moved one more division from 1 to 2. So at 2 o'clock it is at the second division and the minute hand is at the 12th division. Now we can see that when the minute hand has completed one round, the hour hand has gone from one marking to the other, from 12 to 1, from 1 to 2. You can clearly see that. So what we can say is that in every hour the minute hand completes one round. Further, the space between any two consecutive numbers is divided into 5 equal parts and these denote the minutes. This denotes 5 minutes, this denotes 10 minutes, this is 15, this is 20, this is 25, this is 30, this is 35, this is 40, this is 45, 50, 55 and 60. So in 1 hour there are 60 minutes. So you can clearly see that during 1 hour the minute hand moves around these 60 minutes, and so in 1 hour or in one complete round the minute hand has gone from 0 marking to the 60th marking, or it has covered 60 minutes. So every hour has got 60 minutes. Similarly every minute has got 60 seconds. So in all, in an hour there are 3600 seconds. Now you can also see that this is an entire circle. So when the minute hand completes this entire circle, it has moved an angle of 360 degrees. So in 1 hour or in 60 minutes, the minute hand has covered 360 degrees. Now in all there are 12 hours and the total number of degrees is 360. So 1 hour would correspond to 360 divided by 12, that is equal to 30 degrees. So what we can say here is in every hour the minute hand covers 360 degrees and the hour hand covers exactly 30 degrees. So in every hour the minute hand covers 360 degrees and in every hour the hour hand covers 30 degrees. So let's calculate the angular speed of the minute hand. Now in 1 hour it covers 60 minutes or it covers 360 degrees. So what we can say is that the minute hand has covered 360 degrees. So it covers 360 degrees in 60 minutes, and so what we can say, the speed of the minute hand or the angular speed of the minute hand is equal to 360 divided by 60, which is equal to 6 degrees per minute. So the angle covered per minute by the minute hand is equal to 6 degrees, and that is the angular speed of the minute hand. So minute hand covers an angle of 6 degrees per minute. Let's try to find out the angular speed of the hour hand. Now in one particular hour, what we see is that the hour hand has covered 30 degrees, because this entire angle moved by the hour hand is equal to 30 degrees. And so what we can say, it covers 30 degrees in 60 minutes. So in 60 minutes the hour hand covers actually 30 degrees, and so the angular speed would be 30 degrees divided by 60 minutes, and so that is equal to 1 by 2 degrees per minute. So the angular speed of the hour hand is equal to 0.5 degrees per minute. Thus, the angular speed of the minute hand is equal to 6 degrees per minute, and the angular speed of the hour hand is equal to 0.5 degrees or 1 by 2 degrees per minute. Now we have clearly seen that the angular speed of the minute hand is greater than the angular speed of the hour hand. But by how much amount? Let's try to find that. So what's the gain of the minute hand over the hour hand? So this represents the minute hand and this represents the hour hand. In 1 hour, we can clearly see that the minute hand moves 60 or it completes 360 degrees. So in 1 hour, the minute hand covers 360 degrees. And similarly, the hour hand covers 5 divisions or it covers 30 degrees. So the gain of the minute hand over the hour hand would be 55 divisions in 1 hour or 330 degrees. So we can say that the minute hand gains 55 divisions over the hour hand in 1 hour, or it gains an angle of 330 degrees over the hour hand in 1 hour. Once again, the minute hand covers 60 divisions or 360 degrees in 1 hour, and similarly the hour hand covers 5 divisions or 30 degrees in 1 hour. So the gain of the minute hand over the hour hand would be 55 divisions or 330 degrees. In 60 minutes, the minute hand gains 55 divisions on the hour hand, we have already seen, and therefore in 12 minutes the minute hand gains 11 divisions on the hour hand. So we have seen that the gain in 60 minutes is equal to 55 divisions. So in 12 minutes it would be 1/5 of 55, and that is equal to 11 divisions on the hour hand. So the gain of the minute hand over the hour hand in 12 minutes is equal to 11 divisions. Consequently, in any number of minutes, the minute hand will gain 11 by 12 of that number of minutes division over the hour hand. Hence, whatever may have been the positions of the hands, in 24 minutes, for example, the minute hand will gain 11 by 12 into 24 or 22 minute divisions over the hour hand. So we have seen that in 12 minutes, the gain of minute hand over the hour hand is always equal to 11 divisions. It doesn't depend on the position of the hands. It might be 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock, 7 o'clock or any other time. But in every 12 minutes, the gain of the minute hand over the hour hand is always equal to 11 divisions. So for example, if we consider a span of 24 minutes, then in these 24 minutes, the gain would be equal to 22 minute divisions over the hour hand. So the minute hand gains 22 minute divisions over the hour hand in the span of 24 minutes. So this gain is always constant. Now there are some of the important points that we got to remember. When the hands are coincident, the number of minute divisions between them is 0. Whenever the two hands are coincident, that is they lie along the same line, then the number of minute divisions between them is equal to 0. Or we can also say that the angle between these two hands is equal to 0. When the hands are opposite to each other, that is 180 degrees apart, the number of minute divisions between them is 30. This occurs once every hour. So it simply says that whenever the two hands are opposite to each other, then the number of minute divisions between these two hands is always equal to 30, and this occurs once for every hour. So in every hour you would notice this phenomenon occurring, that is the angle between the minute hand and the hour hand becoming 180 degrees. The hands are at right angles to each other when they are 15 divisions apart. So whenever there is a right angle formed between these two hands, they are always 15 divisions apart. So 15 divisions is equivalent to 90 degrees. So every 15 division between these two hands corresponds to a right angle or 90 degrees. When the hands are at right angles, the minute hands will be either ahead of or behind the hour hand by 15 divisions. This occurs twice every hour, when the number of divisions between them measured in the same direction is either 45 or 50. So the point is, whenever there is a right angle formed, then there are two cases. Either the minute hand is ahead of the hour hand, or we can say that the minute hand is behind the hour hand. So in both these cases, either the division between them is 15 or it is 45. So it occurs twice every hour. Both the hands of the clock will coincide after 65 5/11 minutes. Now this is a very important point to remember, that the two hands of the clock would always coincide after 65 5/11 minutes. Now the hands coincide 11 times in 12 hours. Why this is because between 11 and 1 o'clock there is a common position at 12 o'clock. Hence the hands coincide 11 times in 12 hours, and so in 24 hours they would coincide 22 times a day. So the hour hand and the minute hand would coincide 22 times in a particular day. They would coincide after a gap of 65 5/11 minutes. Now we shall study about the incorrect clocks. Now what are incorrect clocks? Till now we have seen the correct clocks. Now what exactly happens when the clocks are incorrect, or when do we say that the clocks are incorrect? A clock that gains or loses time is called an incorrect clock. So any clock that either gains or loses time is called an incorrect clock. An incorrect clock, both the hands of the clock will coincide at an interval that is not equal to 65 5/11 minutes. We have seen that the interval between the two hands coinciding is always equal to 65 5/11 minutes in a correct clock. But in the incorrect clocks, what happens is either this interval is greater than 65 5/11 or it is less than 65 5/11, and so the clock is said to have gained or lost some time, and that is a phenomenon of incorrect clocks. The interval between the two hands coinciding is either greater or less than 65 5/11 minutes. If a clock gains time, then time gained in t hours is equal to t into 60 into 65 5/11 minus x whole divided by x, where x is the time in which the hands of the incorrect clock coincide. So whenever we have a clock that gains time, then the time gained in t hours would be t into 60 into 65 5/11 minus x whole divided by x, where x is the time in which the hands of the incorrect clock coincide. Similarly, if a clock loses time, then time gained in t hours is equal to t into 60 into 65 5/11 minus x divided by x, where x is the time in which hands of the incorrect clock coincide. This is the formula for clocks that gain time, and this is the formula for clocks that lose time. This formula is not very frequently used, but in objective problems, if the problem is directly framed using all these variables, then you can easily use this formula to get the answer. So let's solve a problem based on the concept of incorrect clocks. It says that two clocks are at 12 noon. The first gains 40 seconds and the second loses 50 seconds in 24 hours. After what interval will the first have gained 16 minutes on the second, and what time will each show then? So the problem says that we have got two clocks, and these two clocks are at 12 noon. The first clock gains 40 seconds in every 24 hours, and the second clock loses 50 seconds in every 24 hours. We have to find out after what interval will the first clock have gained 16 minutes over the second clock, and what will be the time shown by each of these clocks in that particular time. So let's look at the solution. The first clock gains 40 seconds and the other one loses 50 seconds. So we have got two clocks. Both of these are incorrect clocks, and the first one gains 40 seconds and the other one loses 50 seconds. The first clock gains on the other equal to 40 plus 50 seconds. So the actual gain of the first clock over the second one is 40 plus 50, because this clock is 40 seconds ahead and this clock is 50 seconds behind. So the actual gain would be 40 plus 50, and that is equal to 90 seconds. But 90 seconds is nothing but equal to 3/2 minutes. And so we can say that in 24 hours, the first clock gains 3/2 minutes over this very clock. Therefore, it gains 1 minute in 2/3 day. So the gain of 1 minute occurs in every 2/3 day. So in 2/3 day, the gain of the first clock over the second is equal to 1 minute. Therefore, it will gain 16 minutes in 32/3 days, or 10 days and 16 hours. So what we can see here is that as the gain of the first clock over the second is 1 minute in 2 by 3 days. Therefore, we have to calculate the gain of 16 minutes, and then that will occur in 32 by 3 days. Now 32 by 3 days is nothing but equal to 10 days and 16 hours. And this 10 days and 16 hours is the true time. So what you can say is the true time would be 16 hours. Now initially both the clocks were at 12 o'clock. So the true time in a correct clock would be, you're going to add 16 hours to 12, and that would be equal to 4. But that actual time would not be shown in both these clocks, because one is gaining 40 seconds per day and the other one is losing 50 seconds. Now let's try to find out the gain in these 32 by 3 days. So in 32 by 3 days, the first clock gains 32 by 3 into 40 seconds, as in one day it gains 40 seconds. So in 32 by 3 days, the gain would be 7 1 by 9 minutes. The second loses 32 by 3 into 50 seconds. This clock loses 50 seconds per day. So in 32 by 3 days, it would lose 8 by 9 minutes. So what we can say here is that the correct clock at the end of the interval, that is 10 days and 16 hours, will show 4 am. We have already seen that initially the clocks were at 12 and that was a correct time. Or in a correct clock, the time would be 4 am, because we got to add 10 days and 16 hours, and that would correspond to 4 hours in a correct clock. But again, this correct time would not be shown on these two clocks. This gains 40 seconds and this loses 50 seconds. So what we can say is, therefore the first will show 4 hours 7 1 by 8 minutes am, because it has gained 7 1 by 8 minutes. So this would be the time shown by this incorrect clock that gains 40 seconds every day. And the second will show 3 hours 51 1 by 9 minutes, because this is losing time, and so this is the time shown by this very clock. The actual time is 4 am. The answer to the first part is that the first clock would gain 16 minutes over the second clock in 32 by 3 days or 10 days 16 hours, and the time shown at this very time in the first clock, which gains 40 seconds, is 4 hours 7 1 by 8 minutes am, and in the second clock the time would be 3 hours 51 1 by 9 minutes. This is how the problem on incorrect clocks is solved.